It was a nice summer day. My 5-year-old son James was playing outside in the backyard of us. So I went home. James was always a quiet boy. He played by himself mostly. He never had many friends, but he was always had a wild imagination. I was in the kitchen feeding our dog Fido when I heard what sounded like James talking to someone in the backyard. I'm not sure who it is, but he could be talking to. Could he have finally made a friend? Being a single mom is hard to keep an eye on my son, so I decided to go outside and check on him. When I went to the backyard, I got a bit confused, because James was the only person back there. Was he talking to himself? I could swear I hear something. James, it's time to go inside. Inside! I called out to him. He came inside and sat down on the kitchen table. It was about lunchtime, so I decided to make him take a sandwich. James, who are you talking to out there? I asked James, who looked up in the moment. I was playing with my friend. He smiled. I poured him some milk and continued to pray as any good mother. Does your friend have a name? Why didn't you ask him to have lunch with us? I asked James. Stared at me for a moment. His name is Luaghing Jack. I was a bit taken back for what he said. Oh, that's a strange name. What does he look like? I got a bit confused. He's a clown. He has long hair and a big swirly cone nose. He has long arms and baggy pants with stripy socks. And he always smiles. I realized my son was talking about an imaginary friend. I suppose it was normal for kids his age to have imaginary friends, especially when he was not real play with the kids. Probably it was just a phase. The rest of the day went as per usual. It was started to get late, so I put James to bed. I tucked him in, gave him a kiss, and tried to turn on his nightlight before I closed the door. I was pretty tired myself, so I got to bed not long after. I had an awful dream. It was dark. I was in some kind of one-down amusement park. I was scared, running through an endless field of empty tents, broken down rides, and abandoned game huts. Sorry, I'm sick. The whole place had a horrible look to it. Everything was black and white. A prize stuffed animal all hung from nooses, and it felt like the whole park was looking down at me, even though I wasn't another living thing in sight. And suddenly, I heard music playing. The sound of Popsicles and Reese's began playing in the squeeze box, echoing through the park. It was hypnotizing. I followed soon as the circus sat almost in a trance, usually to stop my legs from moving forward. It was pitch black. The only light came from the single spotlight shining in the center of the big top. As I walked towards the light, the music slowed down. I found myself singing along to it. All along the merry bush, a monkey chased a weasel. A monkey thought 'twas all in fun. The music stopped right before its climax. Suddenly, lights shut on. The intense music. The intensity of the light was practically blinding. All I could see was a small, dark silhouette shuffle towards me. Then another soon appeared, and another. There was dozens of them. It was coming towards me. I couldn't move. My legs were frozen. All I could do was watch with the haunting figures drawing near. As I could see, they were children. As I looked at each one of them, they were horribly disfigured and mutilated. Some had cuts all of their bodies, while often was severely burnt. The others were missing limbs, even eyes. The children enveloped me, crawling on my flesh, dragged me to the ground, and tearing inside me as the children tore me apart and faded away. As I could hear was laughter, horrible, awful, evil laughter. I woke up the next morning in a cold sweat. After taking a few deep breaths, I looked over and saw a few of Jim's action figures were positioned facing me on top of the nightshade. I sighed. James had probably woken up early and put these there. I gathered up the toys and made my way to James' room gathered up all of the toys and made my way to James' room. However, I opened the door. James was sound asleep. I just shrugged and placed the toys back in his toy box. I headed to the living room. A little while, James woke up, and I made him breakfast. He was quiet and seemed a bit groggy. Perhaps I didn't sleep well either. I sighed that asking him about the toys. James, honey, did you put the toys in Mommy's room this morning? His eyes shut up for a moment, then quickly glanced back down to see her. Laughing Jack did it. I rolled my eyes and responded, well, you tell Laughing Jack to keep the toys in your room. James nodded and finished his breakfast, then decided to go play outside in the backyard. I went to relax in the living room. It must have dozed off because I woke up a couple hours later. Shit! I needed to check on James. I was a bit worried. Had been over 2 hours and I haven't checked on him. I stepped over into the backyard, but James wasn't there anymore. I was getting nervous, so I called out, James, where are you? Then I heard a giggle coming out from the front yard. I never heard a giggle come from the front yard. I watched the James is sitting there on the sidewalk. I breathed a sigh of relief and walked over to James, how many times have I told you to stay in the backyard? James, what are you eating? James looked up at me. He reached for his pocket and pulled out a hand full of hard candy in all colors. This made me very nervous. James, who gave this to you? James stared at me and said, James, please tell Mommy where you got those candy. James hung his head down and left. Laughing Jack gave it to me. My heart sunk. I kneeled down to the ground, looking in the eye. James, I've had enough. I've had enough with this damn Laughing Jack thing. He's not real. Now this is a serious situation. I need to know who gave this candy to you. I could see my son's tears up. But Mama, Laughing Jack did give me the candy. I closed my eyes and took a deep breath. James has never lied to me, but it's really telling me is impossible. I made him spit out the candy and threw the rest away. James appears to be fine. Maybe he's just overreacting about after he got it from Tom and Linda from next door, or Mr. Walker down the street. Either way, I'm going to keep a close eye on James. This night, I put James to bed as usual, decided to go to bed early myself. Suddenly woken up with a loud bang coming from the kitchen. I sprung out of the bed and hurried downstairs. When I got to the kitchen, I was horrified. Everything on the counters has been thrown on the floor. Our dog Fido hung dead from the light fixture. His stomach was cut open and stuffed with candy. The same type that James was eating earlier that day. My shock was quickly broken, and a sharp scream from James' room, loud crashing. I quickly grabbed a knife in the drawer, moved up the stairs with speed that only a mother's child, whose child is in danger, have could. I burst through the door and flickered on the lights. Everything in the room was knocked over. I tossed to the floor. I tossed to the floor, knocking over the tossed on the floor. My poor son in his bed, crying and shaking in fear. A pool of urine staining the sheets. I scooped my child up and ran to the house, out of the house, and went to the next door to Tom and Linda's house. Lucky they were still awake. They let me use their phone and call the police. And I called the police. They didn't take them long to arrive, especially when what had happened. They looked at me if I was crazy. They searched the house, but all they could find was a dead dog and 2 trashed rooms. The officer told me that someone had probably gotten into the house and done this right before making a quick escape. And when they heard me coming up the stairs, I knew it wasn't true. All the doors were locked and none of the windows were open. Whatever was in my house didn't come from outside. The next day, James stayed inside. I didn't want him to leave my sight. I went into the garage and found his old baby mounted and sat up in his room. If anything comes in the room tonight, I was going to be able to hear it. I went to the kitchen and grabbed my largest knife from the drawer and put it in my nightstand. Imagine a friend or not. I'm not letting anything hurt my little boy. Soon enough, night came. I put James to bed. He was afraid, but I promised him that that I wasn't going to let anything happen to him. I tucked him in and gave him a kiss and turned on the night light. Before closing the door, I whispered to him, "Good night, James. I love you." I tried to stay up as long as I could, but after a few hours, I felt myself drifting off. My baby would be safe for the night, and I needed to sleep. Just as he lay my head in the pillow, I felt a soft noise come from the baby monitor. I had put it on my nightstand. At first, sounded like an interference, like the kind of radio would make, but it turned out to be a soft moan. Was James asleep? As I heard a laugh from a nightmare, a horrible laugh. I sprung out of the bed and grabbed the knife under my pillow. I rushed over to James' room. The creak door opened. I tried the light switch, but nothing came on. I took a step, and I could feel the warm, thick liquid at my feet. Suddenly, James' nightlight came on, and I could see the absolute horror laid in front of me. James's body was nailed up on the wall, the nails piercing through his hands and feet. His chest was cut wide open, the organs hung out on the floor. His eyes and tongue were removed along with most of his teeth. I was disgusted. I could hardly believe that was my baby boy. As I heard it again, a soft, depression moan. James was still alive. My baby, my poor baby is such a pain, but barely clinging to life. I ran across the room and vomited in the floor, but my sickness interrupted about a horrible cry.